Okay, so to me, this is just going from bad to worse quick. And maybe I'm reading it wrong, but that's just how I'm reading it right now. So last night, I went on a little bit of a rant, did a StreamYard live stream, as well as put out a video talking about the report that came out last night. That report did not list a source, but the report said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that if the Browns do not work towards Baker's strengths and also improve play calling, Baker Mayfield will consider requesting a trade. Now, I went off and I was extremely upset, and I still am, again, assuming it's true. Now, given everything we know now, probably not, because we know who it's coming from. But I was very upset yesterday because if Baker Mayfield thinks that the Browns have not been working towards his strengths or trying to build towards his strengths, I don't know what else he wants. And that was kind of the point I was hitting at yesterday. Now today, Mary Kay Cabot tweeted out, well, Baker responded to this tweet, but her tweet said, Baker Mayfield must resolve his differences with Kevin Stefanski soon in case they need to coexist next season. Also, some names that will be on the Browns' radar if they do not. And then she goes on to list a couple names. And then Baker quote tweets that tweet from Mary Kay and says, clickbait, you and many other local Cleveland media continue to be drama-stirring reporters with no sources or facts. Don't put words in my mouth so you can put food on your table. I am not your puppet. So this is interesting. And one thing I thought was hilarious is I just saw Brandon Weeden was tweeting about that. So, I mean, Brandon Weeden tweeting about Browns quarterback drama is like, I don't know if any of you are Star Wars fans, but it's like in the last Star Wars where all of a sudden the Emperor's back. It's like, just when you think these guys are out of your nightmares, here they come again. Brandon Weeden talking about the Browns quarterbacks. So this is interesting because I will by no means defend Mary Kay Cabot. I understand there are plenty major media places, personalities who often say Mary Kay Cabot does a great job. I was listening to Colin Cowherd today, and he was saying Mary Kay Cabot does a great job. I never understood that. Tony Grossi, Mary Kay, all of these different people, they do the same thing, and Baker is right about this point. They often stir the pot pretty much on purpose. Mary Kay was basically caught doing this when she was DMing David Njoku saying, do you still want to trade, and all that stuff, trying to stir the pot there, and that obviously was not true. David Njoku fired his agent, likely because his agent wanted him out of Cleveland and he wanted to stay. So all of her stuff, it's just a lot of the same stuff, stirring the pot, like Baker says. But what's interesting to me here is this is not the first time we've heard this about Baker and Kevin Stefanski and their issues. To me, regardless of who says it, based on what's coming out of Baker Mayfield's mouth, based on what's coming out of Kevin Stefanski's mouth in these press conferences, there's clearly some division. Now, to the extent that the division is, I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. But there's problems there, and it almost is feeling, it's feeling like Kevin Stefanski is almost turning into Hugh Jackson or Freddie Kitchens. Like, it feels like we're at that point again where your starting quarterback and your head coach aren't on the same page, and they're, fighting back and forth behind the scenes, whatever. To me, that's how it feels. So, no, I will not defend Mary Kay Cabot. I'm not going to do that. But I do think there is some truth to say that Baker Mayfield and Stefanski do have problems. And I think there is some truth in saying that Baker Mayfield doesn't want to be in Cleveland anymore. I think there's also some truth in saying that Cleveland doesn't want Baker Mayfield anymore. This is why I'm saying I don't see how he's on the roster next year. It's not necessarily because of just play. Baker Mayfield and this whole situation is turning into OBJ 2.0. You have people who are not on the roster stirring up drama off the field on social media. And I don't want to be the person to blame his wife, or I'm not going to do that, but The reality is, when you have OBJ's dad getting involved, and now you have Baker's wife getting involved 24/7, and Baker at points calling out the fans, calling, all these different things, this is going downhill quickly, and I think it's just going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger like a snowball. Andrew Berry did not draft Baker Mayfield. Now, he was on his way out the year that the Browns decided to pick Baker. So technically you could say maybe he had a part in it, but no, he did not make the final decision. Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry are not going to lose their jobs because of Baker. That's my opinion. And aside from that, on the field, Baker Mayfield has not done anything to show them that they should keep him. Andrew Berry, to me, is the kind of person who he understands where the Browns are at right now. And I think people will say that the Browns roster is not that great, whatever. I completely disagree. I think the Browns have a top 5 roster. And I do think Baker Mayfield is holding them back. Now, there are plenty of problems. Wide receiving room, not great. Austin Hooper sucks. And play calling hasn't been great. So, if the reports are true about the play calling, I completely agree with Baker. Now, the problem is, you can't complain about the play calling if you're not going to execute passes when there's guys wide open in front of you. We've seen it happen many times. Just in the last game, there was a play where David Njoku was open and Donovan Peoples-Jones was open. Baker had a clear window and time to throw. Double clutched, pumped, held onto the ball, sacked by TJ Watt. That is not a Kevin Stefanski problem. That is not a organizational problem. That's a Baker Mayfield problem, and to me, that's why he's not going to be on the team. So, as far as this report, this ain't going to get better. I mean, Baker Mayfield already hates the media, which I do too. But now that this is starting to spiral quickly out of control, I see no way this is going back. So, the whole Baker versus Mary Kay, I think there's two sides that can be true here. I think that Mary Kay is making it worse than it might be, and I also think that Baker might be trying to hide some of it. I think that might be true. Again, I'm not defending Mary Kay at all, because she's trying to make a situation worse than it needs to be, and it's not her decision on if Baker is here, if he's the guy, whatever. She wants to sell money, or not sell money, she wants to sell her product, Cleveland.com. She wants to get people to read these stories and subscribe. So she's trying to flame it up when it doesn't necessarily have to be. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Whether if he's here, whether if he's not, it doesn't matter anybody's opinions. It's up to Andrew Berry, and really it's up to Kevin Stefanski. So it is definitely interesting now that we find out that article has come from Mary Kay. But again, I also think it's interesting that some things have been denied. I think that the obvious is that there are some troubles again, and to the extent, I don't know. And that's going to be the biggest thing going forward on if he's going to be here. If the problems are big, then he's not going to be here. But if the Browns, if Baker Mayfield, Kevin Stefanski don't hate each other and can get on the same page, maybe they keep it around and try it again. But and this is not a video to talk about the future, but to me, I think the Browns are in a spot right now where they cannot waste time, and I think that if you are going to continue to see if Baker Mayfield is the guy, it's been 4 years. To me, you're just wasting time. I think it's best to move on for both sides. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on this Mary Kay versus Baker. Here we go again. So anyway, let me know, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.